Sophie Lechner is a business growth strategist and a mentor who helps entrepreneurs build relationships so they can grow their business using her LinkedIn magnet method and coaching and courses and workshops. And she holds multiple degrees in business and also law, comparative law. And she's had a 20-year career in global business. And she's been a guest on several podcasts and was interviewed by Forbes and frequently speaks globally. And the one thing I want to mention is she helps entrepreneurs build relationships. And we as artists are absolutely entrepreneurs. Our art is our business, or for most of us, I would think our art is our business. And so to think about that when you're listening to Sophie. Anyway, Sophie, take it away.
All right. Thank you. I'm very excited and honored to have been invited by Ali to speak with you. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Ali's art. You can see at the top there. I figured, that would be a good background. So just really briefly want to introduce myself. I am half French, half Pakistani, and I initially started my career as a lawyer in France. I worked for these two large corporations, and then I came to the US to do my MBA. And then I joined Pfizer and then subsequently Bayer. I had a career about almost 20 years at Pfizer and Bayer. I started in finance and then went into global marketing. And then after that, I started my own company called the Global Growth Experience, G2 Experience, to consult for companies from Europe and elsewhere who wanted to enter the US market. And I got certified in cross-cultural training, which is one of my passions. And then I switched to the magnet method, which is really focusing on LinkedIn. And I have to tell you, when LinkedIn started, I was here at Pfizer when it launched, and I just thought that was a phenomenal tool. It helped me to connect with everybody well, not everybody, but a lot of people in the company. And I just loved it immediately for its ability to connect people who didn't know each other and just get to make friends around the world. And I just thought that was fascinating. And so I've always used it. I've helped my friends over the years use it. And when the pandemic started is when I realized there was a big gap. A lot of people didn't know how to use it. And I really want to introduce it to as many people as possible. So this is just a quick little view for you, bird's eye view, to see all the things that I've been able to do thanks to LinkedIn. So, a lot of these podcasts, my Forbes interview, all this came from relationships that I've had established through LinkedIn. So I want to take you on a little journey. Imagine that you have been invited to a very special private event at the British Museum. And we're there for the whole day. It's a very special outing, and you have a mission. And your mission is to enjoy the art, obviously, but also to make a few friends that you will keep. And so let's see what you have at your disposal to accomplish this mission. So there's a full roster of events all day. There are gallery talks, there are lectures and discussions, there's a whole host of Meet the Artist events, and there's a resource directory with artists, curators, gallery owners, museums, and all the people who have signed up for the event are going to be in this directory as well. So I would say British Museum is a big, very large place. And with all this going on, you're going to need a map, right? Fortunately, we have a map. So let's see. You have the activities list. So, whether you're interested in oil painting or sculpture, whether you're into abstract or interactive or puzzle art, there's all these different activities are listed. The other thing that's available is, as I said, this directory. And then there's also a system. They've given you an app when you first arrive, and there's a way to see notifications of who is attending what, right? So as you're trying to make friends, you'll see who's attending. You can have a little choice of, who you might want to go hang out with. And there's also this message board. So if there's people that you would like to meet, then you can connect with them, set up a time to meet, etc. So let's see how this translates to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is nothing more than a large, museum event where you can go meet a lot of people that you want to hang out with. So the activities list is in LinkedIn actually your home feed, right? So it shows the activities that are available, but you also can customize your feed so that you only see the things that interest you. The message board is there to arrange your activities, your meetups. So let's say you want to have a coffee chat with someone. And the notification function shows you who is attending what. So this in LinkedIn, in the LinkedIn world, is the comments, the likes on the things that you have posted. And then the directory is really my network. So that's your first and second degree connections, your first degree, and it keeps track of who you know, who you've already met. You should know two things: that the directory is highly searchable, and that you can choose who sees you, who doesn't see you. You have a lot of say into the privacy level of your settings in LinkedIn. So let's look at what that looks like inside of LinkedIn. So the home feed is going to be this little house on the left. My network is, as I said, the connections. You have the messaging function, the notification function, and then this is a place where you're going to be able to do quite a few things, but one of them is the settings that you need to adjust, and that's going to be very, very important. So how can you use LinkedIn? So LinkedIn has so many, like sometimes I call it the Swiss Army knife, right? It has so many functionalities, so many ways that you could use it. So the first is, of course, networking and knowing people, but the visibility that you can acquire through LinkedIn is large. So you can show your art and you can show your different activities and what you're all about. You can use it for marketing. So you could have, for example, collectors, curators, and the media contact you. And you can also, for example, I know that a lot of you have events. So you may have an opening, or you may have some panels that you're organizing, and you can market it through LinkedIn so you get attendees to sign up. You can also do live streaming and things like that if that's of interest. So networking, obviously, for everybody in business and for you, I'm sure it's the same. A lot of what you do is really dependent on networking with people, and that is the primary function of LinkedIn. So you can meet others in the trade. You can find artists and speakers, for example, if you have programs and panels, in the same way that you can find attendees. You can use it for sales. Obviously, you can find your audience and engage with them, and have sales, collectors and things like that. And then you can do research. So you could research galleries, you can research organizations for exhibition opportunities, etc. So I want to give you just a little glimpse, a little example, a sample. For example, if you type into LinkedIn gallery owner, and you put in the location, so there's all filters, there's a lot of different filters you can apply, but just by using these two filters, we got a result of 8,000 people. So this gives you a little glimpse into how you can then, fine tune and look at where they are, what they specialize in, etc. I'm going to ask if you can mute yourselves, everybody. The second example is if you put in, for example, art curator, again, New York metro area, you get 12,000 results. And of course, there's, like I said, all these other filters to narrow it down, but just to give you a sense of who's on LinkedIn, right? This is just as a quick example, the profile of an art curator that I found. So it gives you a sense of, what you can do with your banner. You can put a lot of different things in your featured section. This is about where you would write about yourself and your art. And then another example is for an artist. So if you have events, etc. So just a quick little sample there, right? So how do you succeed on LinkedIn? And this is not I'm going to sign up and I'm going to find 20 attendees and make sales right away, right? It's like everything else. It's a long-term game. But the main philosophy that I teach anyway on LinkedIn is that it's not about finding opportunities, although you can find them. It's really about making sure that you set yourself up so that people can find you, right? That's why I call my entire method the magnet method, because you want to set yourself up well so that people are attracted to you, and that's what you do with your content as well. So the 3 key steps. Step 1 is establish your brand. It's, your profile. We're going to look at that. Step 2 is then increase your visibility. So that's mostly with content and sharing. And then step 3, which, at the end of the day is the most important, but you need to have step 1 and 2 in place, is to engage in conversations and get people on the phone and really have those interactions and those conversations with them. So to get started, you just need to open a free LinkedIn account. It takes a few minutes. You need to adjust your settings. There's quite a few tricky things about settings. I'm very happy to send you, I have a little guide to help you figure out the settings. And so I can send you that if you'd like. Very happy to do that. And then complete your profile. That's what you need to get started. So establishing your brand, which is step 1, you need to craft of course, I've chosen the word magnetic, about section. So it really needs to capture who you are in the entirety of who you are. What makes your art special? You can have little testimonials in there if that's appropriate for your kind of business and art. And you want to have a call to action. And the call to action is really to kind of check out what's in your featured section, for example. At the top, you have this banner, so you can create a powerful banner with your art and choose a headline to show your reader who you are, just in a few words. And then the featured section, you can have your art in there, but you can also have your artist statement, your bio, your CV, if you have an electronic press kit. So depending what your different priorities are with LinkedIn, you can choose what to put in your featured section. And there are 3 items that show up immediately in your featured section, but you can scroll to the right and you can put as many as you want. I have like 30 mini lessons on LinkedIn. So actually, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or just follow me, although I prefer connect, and you want to learn about LinkedIn, there are 30 little mini lessons in there that are just in my featured section. So you could do things like that. The second big step is you increase your visibility. And to do that, you need to be posting. And so posting, you can write your own posts, but you also can share other people's posts and put a little comment. And in order to do that, you want to customize your feed. And that's also so that you find in your feed things that are of interest to you, right? Not just random things, but things that you like. So you want to follow organizations and publications of interest. And then you want to be posting regularly. And regularly does not mean every day. A lot of people will tell you, oh, you need to post like 3-4 times a day. That is bananas, I think. So, if you have one solid post once a week, that is plenty. That's great. You can do a little bit of sharing other people's posts in between. On other days, you can be commenting on other people's posts, but one post a week is great. So you can post about your art, your topic, your activities. You know, once you start, you'll see you'll be wanting to post more often. So the point is to attract your audience. So you want to always be educating, engaging, you know, sharing the interesting things that you're seeing. You go to a gallery, you discover new artists, you know, anything that you're enjoying in your life, you can share. And you want to be using hashtags. So there's a whole, you know, um, art to hashtags, but you want to use hashtags that are going to allow you to be seen by the people that might be following those different hashtags. And you can tag people. So, you know, you go to an exhibition, you really enjoy it, and you say, hey, Ali, I think you should go see this. You could tag Ali in your post or anyone else. And then again, the most important of all, engage in conversation. So start a dialogue. And so you can comment on other people's posts and start dialoguing with them. And when you post, people will comment on your post and you want to be responding and maybe you have questions for them, you know, and you start this little bit of conversation through your posts. And then that starts that relationship, right? And then you can connect with them and then you can message them and then get to meet in real life or have a Zoom coffee or something. And I would say, you know, stand for something. Stand for your beliefs and your preferences, and you know, be your whole self over there. And then connect after the dialogue is open. Like I was saying, you know, connect, start a relationship. Yeah, take it outside. You can suggest a conversation, a studio tour on Zoom. You know, that is something that it could be a great opportunity. So I would say, you know, just start small, you know, just go in there, open an account, just put, you know, minimum information into your about section. Just start small, post a little bit, and then you can keep growing and starting from that basis and then keep growing, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. And just to conclude, that's my method. I have 3 main offerings at this time. My LinkedIn coaching is 3 months, so 12-week coaching program, one-on-one. So that's one way to engage with me. The other is the 6-week course with group coaching that Ali is taking right now. We just finished actually yesterday. And I have a one-day workshop to help you develop posts. And I think we had talked about if enough of you are interested, I would be very happy to hold the LinkedIn course, the LinkedIn from scratch course, just for you with a special rate. So, you know, all geared towards art and artists. And that's where you can reach me. And that's me. 10.
Thank you,
Am I doing
Sophie.
on time? I think I did good on
Yeah,
time.
yeah. If people have questions, this is a
Yes.
good time to ask. But also, Sophie, you're giving the New York Artists Circle a special price discount. So, what is your what's the amount on the 6-week? I
Yes.
know it was a
Yes.
like
The
20% or
the
something
6-week course is $497, and
normally.
I'm normally. And if I get a big enough group and I can do it, you know, especially for you, I'm very happy to do it for $397. I think that's 20%. I'm not sure. Yes, I think so.
So,
Oh, okay. So I see there's questions here. LinkedIn seems to offer much more functionality than other popular social media platforms. I think so. Popularity of it, yes. So the thing with LinkedIn is that it's been around for much longer, and it was originally created as a, well, I don't know if it was the intent, but it was originally used for people to post their resume and to find jobs. And it was immediately very popular with corporate people. And so for a long time, it actually had this life of being a corporate tool for corporate people, and to find jobs go from one corporation to another. Excuse me. But then it has changed over time, and it's very much, I won't say it's not that anymore, because it still is. It has taken on a lot of different people. It's now very much about much more than just finding a job. So you'll see entrepreneurs on there. You'll see a lot of diversity of people. Okay, Francine, I'd be very happy to have you. How many people would you need for the? Yeah, I would love to have 10 people, 8 or 10 people would be great, but I can have up to 20 or more. I found the
Sophie,
conversation. Yes.
I'm sorry, can you put your direct contact in the chat? Since
Yes.
you had it on the slideshow, but we can't cut and paste.
Yes.
And Pamela Casper has her hand raised when you're ready.
Thank you. I was just writing it in the chat because I wasn't sure I was going to get called on. But in my breakout discussion group, a number of us confirmed that when we research curators and gallery people on LinkedIn, number one, when you actually go to their profiles, you see that they haven't interacted in LinkedIn in like 6 years. So sending them a message kind of falls into the void. Yep. And also, it's very difficult to enter into that world. There are exclusive groups. If you don't qualify as a curator, you can't get into the group. Many curators don't want to be accessed by artists because they would be inundated. There are no emails. And so my research and some other people's research into the art world on LinkedIn has really not been very productive. We find it more productive and instantaneous to connect on Instagram because that's where everybody is looking. We find LinkedIn very corporate.
Yeah. So there's I'm sorry, I have this. I'm gonna put myself on mute and call. Hopefully that takes care of it. Yes, it sounds like it. So yes, there are definitely a lot of people who are still not understanding that LinkedIn is more than just a corporate world. So you will see that some curators are active, but some aren't. But what you can do is you can definitely use LinkedIn for research purposes. And so you could find where they are, etc. And then you can combine LinkedIn with Instagram and Facebook and meet people on different platforms. So you know, you have to try it and see who's there, who's not there.
And also posting, I've posted shows and announcements, and I get like 3, maybe 3 looks and one actual comment, because the audiences are, again, extremely corporate or in very different worlds, and they don't even really look or buy art on LinkedIn. They buy it for investment, and they need to have a gallery who, so yeah, I have up to now found it not very effective for all those reasons.
Yeah, so there's a lot of you need to kind of really invest yourself into the platform and spend some time there and build your presence gradually. So it's not a platform where you can go and start posting and immediately have results, right? So you need to build your network. Like I said, it's a long-term play. So you need to build your network. You need to have, a few hundred connections. You need to really be there with a presence for quite a while, and be doing all the right things so you can find the right people. So yeah, it's not something where you can just go in and find your way around. That's why, I found that people enjoy having a coach. I know that Audrey has a question.
Yes. When I was working with Ali on publicity for one of our projects, I had a LinkedIn account, so I went in to try to look for curators, And what I ran into was that I didn't have a paid account. So I wasn't able to actually reach out to people. So, and I don't have much experience. I'm like everybody else. I go to the easy, like Instagram is very easy, and LinkedIn's kind of been in the background. So anyway, could you talk a little bit about the paid accounts versus the free accounts, and those of us who have the free accounts, how we might use it? I know that that's what your course is, but just a little bit for that glitch I came across.
Yeah, no, so definitely you can do a lot with the free account. I really would not recommend to go for a paid account. That's really only something that you would need if you were really using LinkedIn heavily, I would say. So there's definitely a lot you can do with the free account. That's what I recommend. I don't even tell my clients to get a paid account. So there's no limits on who you can connect with. However, some people in their settings may choose to not to have it so that people can't connect with them, which is a shame. And I think that's a minority of people, but it's possible you might have encountered that. There's ways to kind of get around. If somebody has follow, for example, as their preferred way of engaging with them, you can follow them. You can also ask them to connect by just clicking something else. But you can do everything that I've described here today, you can do with the free account. The one thing that is not recommended, and you might get sort of blocked by LinkedIn, is if you do searches and and again and again and again for like several hours in a row, then they'll notice something and then they'll tell you, listen, you're using this for commercial purposes, so don't. But a few searches here and there, no problem.
Great, thank you. Sophie,
Yes.
Olga Alexander asked a question in the chat.
Okay.
So she says, I have found the conversation on LinkedIn is kept at a minimum and is more professionally oriented. How do you make it more personal but not ask for sales?
Yeah, so on LinkedIn, you want to be posting, like I said, once a week is fine, or a little bit more, and you just want to be yourself. So you share your art, you share your activities, and you start interacting with people, and you don't have to be like super, you want to be professional, but there's all these definitions of professional. You just be yourself. And you can start connecting with all the people that like, for example, if you all wanted to go, you could interact with each other. You could create a little community where you would all boost each other's posts and things like that. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
have
I think.
I have the opposite question. How do
Oh.
you direct it towards business rather than fellow artists?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that has to do with the searches that you do. You need to find those people, and then you can interact with them, either follow them, or it's possible if you find that people are not very active on LinkedIn, then you can locate them, find them, learn about them, but then interact with them maybe outside, either on Instagram or by email. But within the platform, I'd say, be posting. And when you do your research on who your audience is, just really understand what their pain points are, sort of what their needs are, and then you post about those. And that's how you start to get seen. Yes.
Excellent. There's someone else is asking about what is the cost of your other workshops?
Oh, so the content workshop is a one-day workshop when you already are on LinkedIn and you've got your profile and everything, and you get to the point where you're sort of needing more content, right? You want to have ideas for content. So that's a one-day workshop, and it's $497. And then to work with me one-on-one for 3 months, that's $24.97, so $2,500. US dollars. Well, you
For,
guys are all
for,
in New York, so
for 3 months, did you say?
yes, it's a 3-month
Okay.
program.
And how many sessions would that be over the course of 3 months?
Yeah, good point. It's 1 session a week, so it's an hour a week, and then I give homework. So there's quite a bit of there's probably 3 to 5 hours a week of work to be done in the first few weeks. After that, it lightens up a little bit more. But yeah, that's the commitment in time.
And also for the time commitment for the 6-week course. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ali can speak to that. But yes, and Ali, I will be happy to give you guys a discount for the other courses as well. Maybe not for the one-on-one coaching. Maybe I can give you a
Right.
smaller one. But I'm sorry, I forgot your
Is it
question.
once a week that you
Yes,
meet
yes,
for the 6-week course?
yeah, it's once a week. And then again, there's quite a bit of homework during that time, because you're establishing yourself, you're learning about creating your profile, etc.
But I do want to say, in terms of Sophie's 6-week course, which we just finished yesterday, it's actually so much more than 6 weeks, because the course, for example, is for an hour on Wednesday, but then on Mondays and Thursdays, she had a joint work session that
Yeah.
you could go on and do your work for an hour twice a week. So basically it was 3 hours a week that you had access to learning. And those 2 1-hour work sessions, you could come or not come. That was optional. You could do your work. So she set up a schedule so you could actually have time set in your week to work on your LinkedIn account. And she was present all the time during those work sessions, that you could ask direct questions. And she did a lot of one-on-one help for me and the others. And you could watch her helping others or not, and just do your own thing. So if you watched her helping others, that also gave you a leg up on doing things for yourself. So very helpful, your format, Sophie. I thought it was going to be a lot of hours that I would have to commit, because really it's 6 weeks, but it was 3 hours a week if you did the co-working sessions. But that's where you really got your works, that's where you got your LinkedIn account set up. And I've already tested a few times mine, and I'm still trying to decide, because I do have 2 art worlds, whereas everyone else pretty much would have 1 art world. I'm an abstract fiber artist or whatever, so you'd have 1 world that you'd be attracting people to. But
Yeah.
I found Sophie's laid back, but very informational style really worked.
Thank you, Ali. Let me know if there's still time. I see some questions. I'm happy to answer them. Just let me know when I need to stop.
One. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Okay, we have a few more minutes.
What time of day do you usually have your workshops?
Usually it's around 12 or 2 p.m., etc., because I have people from the West Coast and Europe. But if I do a course just for you guys, we can choose a different time that would work well for you. We can work together to determine that. LinkedIn doesn't take over your email contacts. There is a way you could, but I don't recommend doing it. So no, it doesn't take over your contacts, only the ones that you want. And then if you have a very old LinkedIn account, there's a procedure to merge. If you have 2 accounts, there's a procedure to merge, or you can just, take that old profile and just change it completely.
I think you were just answering a question in the chat, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So another question, Maria Spector asks, can you give me some examples of artists that have used LinkedIn successfully?
No, I don't know personally. I could do a little bit of research.
Yeah, I think that'll be great.
Yeah, Ali and I will do a little work on that and find you some.
Yeah, that would be good to go through.
Yes. So I always thought of Instagram as Facebook and Facebook as more visual platforms where you post a lot of pictures. I don't see Instagram that way, but is it?
Yeah, so LinkedIn, you can definitely post a lot of art if you want. You could be posting a piece of art. You could be posting, 20 pieces of art every day if that's what you want, because you could create these, they're called carousels. So it's like a little slideshow. And if you wanted to just have a whole bunch of images that you show people, you could do that. You can totally do that. Yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
know. Great to know.
And I want to say about the carousels, it's not as if you have to learn new software. The carousels are basically PDFs, such as a Google slideshow or a flip snack book or those type of things. So you just take PDFs in a number of PDFs in a row and click, and they become this carousel, this moving.
Yeah. Or you can just post an image, just a simple
Single.
PNG or JPEG. If you want, yes, I offered to give you the information about settings. So just email me and I'm very happy to send you that.
Is that, yes, you did offer that. Sophie, would
Yes.
you be willing to offer it to the whole group and we'll
Yes. I'm
we'll
very
send it
happy
out?
to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So
It's a
you
PDF.
send it to
Yeah, I'll send it to, should I send it to Ali? And then yeah.
Yes.
It's a
would be
PDF
great.
document with 2 little videos in the beginning to explain the rationale
Fantastic.
and all of that. And then you just follow the steps one by one.
Thank you. Thank you for this generous and fascinating
Welcome.
talk.
Thank you, Peggy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.
Everyone, a round
Thank
of
you, friend.
applause.
It was my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
You have a
Yeah.
good time in your breakouts, and I'm very glad to answer any questions.